Good afternoon. Happy Sunday to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. Oh my goodness, I am so tired. 2 days in a row of waking up at like 8 o'clock. Well, today I think I woke up at like 9 something, but I was up originally at 7 and then kind of like dozed in and out until about 9 o'clock and then actually got up out of bed. But yeah, 2 days in a row of being up early, and I went to bed really late both nights. So tonight, hopefully, I'm going to bed early because I'm gonna go take a shower and it's still early, guys. But yeah, I told you guys ever since I got sick, I hadn't been sleeping well, and I just my sleep schedule was all thrown off and everything like that. So now that I'm finally feeling good this week, and I'm going back on my melatonin too, because I told you guys how I was like, normally I'll take it, I think, for like 2 months, I think it is, and then go off for like 1 week because it helps to like actually make it work again, because if not, like, you build up such a like tolerance to it and everything like that it kind of loses its like potency, and so then you really need to like be taking more to actually fall asleep. So instead, and from what I've read too from 2 of the different brands, they like to go off of it. One said for like you take it for 1 month and then stop taking it for 1 month. Another one said 2 months and then a week. And then I think a different one even said something else too, like was like, I think it was like maybe 2 weeks and then go off for 2 weeks or something like that. One said just take it for as long as you need. And so, yeah, if I like, my goal would be to not have to take it, but my sleep schedule is so bad that I like need to, because it helps me stay asleep, and it also helps me go to bed too, because like if not, sometimes I will wind up keeping myself awake until like, you know, even if I'm in bed by 11 o'clock, I could wind up keeping myself awake until 3 o'clock sometimes. Just by like laying in bed, like thinking about things, or all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I should like look up that recipe on Pinterest, and then real quick I flip over and, you know, use my phone or something like that. And, you know, then I'm like, okay, no, I really need to go to bed. And then I will try and fall asleep, and then it'll be like a half an hour later and I'll still be awake, or, you know, an hour later and I'm still awake thinking about something. And so I have problems turning my brain off at night, so that's why I really need to take it. And like I said, helps me fall asleep and then also helps me stay asleep, and so I'm not waking up like 12 times in the middle of the night, which is why when I was sick anyway, I was doing that. So I was like, you know what, this is the perfect time for me to stop for a week, because I was waking up anyway when I was sick. You know, I'd wake up in the middle of the night coughing and stuff. You know, or just not feeling well and stuff, and just not getting good sleep when I was sick. Regardless of like if I, you know, would wake up like every, you know, hour or something like that, I still ended up sleeping for like, you know, I'd fall back asleep in like 10-15 minutes, and then I'd wind up, you know, sleeping longer though when I was sick, which I guess is okay. But it was just, it was like, okay, well, this is just, it's not working. So yeah, but we got a lot of stuff done for today, guys. We ended up going to Aldi and to Walmart, and then we ended up, at Walmart, my dad actually got, well, I'll show you guys. He got hooks, and then on top of that, too, he got hooks let me finish my sentence first before I cut myself off. He got hooks to hang on Matthew and Jack's backpacks in the living room, and we also ended up getting, there's some other thing that he ended up doing. And then also too, we got the sink out of the bathroom. So now we need to replace the floor where the sink was, and we need to replace it with the new sink then, and paint. Well, we need to paint first, replace the new, replace the flooring and put in the new flooring, and then end up painting as well. So there's a couple projects that have to get done in there before we can actually, what's it called? Put the new sink in. So we are going to be without a sink in the bathroom for a little while, because yeah, that whole construction thing is going on in there, which isn't like a horrible big deal, just because we either have hand sanitizer or else wash your hands in the kitchen sink, which isn't that difficult. We'll be without a bathroom sink for probably at least a little while, until we can get the new flooring replaced in the bathroom. But like I said too, my dad did something else today. He said he was going to get it done. Oh, I think he ended up fixing the paper towel holder in the hallway, because the screw ended up like coming out of the wall. I don't know how it ended up happening. If it was because it must be fixed because there's paper towels up here. Yeah, I think my dad put in like anchors into the screws because the screws like came out of the wall. So we got this fixed and hung up here. And then also too, oh my goodness guys, all of a sudden my nose is all stuffy. But yeah, guys, this is the bathroom right now. This is what the bathroom looks like. We got the old sink out of here, and this is all the plumbing. What we were having problems with, the reason my dad couldn't do it right away was because there's no valve underneath the sinks to turn the water off from underneath the sink. So I think in one of like the first vlogs ever that I had posted, me and Matthew had this huge problem where the sink handle actually ended up breaking off, and there was no way for us to turn off the water, so it was just constantly running. So we had to keep dumping the water out because it wasn't draining out of the sink fast enough that it was coming out of the faucet. So we had to drain it out into the bathtub like for like 20 minutes, and so finally like we ended up getting like a monkey wrench or something. We're finally able to turn the water off through the faucet, but we couldn't turn it off underneath because there's no nozzles or no like shut off valves or anything like that. So we had like a huge problem, and like I said, that was probably one of the first vlogs I ended up recording, which is like a couple of years ago, and that's when my dad found out. He was like, we need to have this under the sink in case anything like that happens, or in this situation where we're removing the sink and replacing it so that we can actually shut off the water. And you guys saw we had the bucket there just in case, but this way we can turn off the water and make sure that nothing is coming out of it. So obviously, if we had the water turned on and we didn't have any valves, it would just be coming straight out of the wall right now. So yeah, and then the other thing too, my mom tidied up, and we got, look at how cute this is, guys, this coffee bar over here. This is actually like a what's it called, like a desk organizer kind of thing, but then we've got our cookie sheets are under here right now. There's actually 2 tables, if you guys can tell. There's 2 tables right here, and this is all kind of a mess, but yeah, there's 2 tables because it actually fits underneath and it works like a little shelf. So, and there's 2 drawers, so you know, who cares, right? But anyways, yeah, we have our little coffee bar thing going on here, and this is like a desk kind of organizer thing that my mom repurposed to use this. And then up here, my mom actually ended up repurposing these and used these as shutters, as little like things that we have some other personal information on there, so we're not showing you guys that. But like as kind of like I don't know what you call it. It's like bulletin boardish kind of thing to keep like little stuff on there. And then the other thing too, I told you guys we just got that fixed. There was like a whole bunch of stuff that got done today. The other thing too is that in the closet, you guys can see Matthew's got his volleyball bag hanging up in here, but we actually have new what's it called, hooks for Matthew and Jack's backpacks to keep them up off the floor, because what they like to do is just leave them right in front of this door, and then nobody can get into the closet to put their jackets away or anything like that. I normally actually put my jacket in my room. I leave it on the back of my door just because, for one, it's impossible to half the time get into that closet. I think I told you guys too, it was over a Super Bowl that we ended up actually what's it called, put the like cleaned out that closet in there, so that's why we ended up like kind of have been using it more now, and we reorganized it because we had like so many like winter clothes and stuff in there, like mittens that were like from Jack when he was like 2 years old, but they were hand-me-downs from Matthew, and then like Jack wore them and they were like fit a 2-year-old, and so like seriously, there's been like, this been in there for like 10 years, and just like nobody's gone through it. Like, it's kind of been cleaned up a little bit, but nobody's actually gone through it and been like, okay, we obviously don't need these anymore. So yeah, I did that. And then the other thing too that I ended up making for today, when we went to the grocery store, but then in here, which I know it looks kind of like weird, but this is actually, honestly guys, probably like the best salad I think I've ever had. It is chickpea salad. It's got chickpeas and cucumber, tomatoes, bell peppers, red onion. It's got like a dressing, like it's a olive oil, lemon juice, like with a like oregano, and I think oregano, parsley, salt and pepper, like dressing kind of. Oh my gosh, guys. I was like, well, I'll have a little bit. Like, I got a serving for myself. I was like, just to test it out and see how it tastes. I ended up eating 3 servings. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It is like my new favorite recipe. I have another recipe too for a chickpea salad because I wanted to try and test them out and see if I liked them. The other one is and the other thing it has on there too is feta cheese, which I love. It's like probably my favorite. I love it in like salads and stuff like that. It's just so crumbly and so tasty. So, the other recipe I think is like a cucumber, chickpea, avocado, or no, maybe it's not cucumber, it's avocado, chickpea, like feta salad kind of similar to that, like I said, but it's like more chickpea avocado. But this salad that I ended up making today was so good. I had the ingredients left over so I can do more. But the other thing too is that I want to start doing is instead of just having avocado toast, because I've been eating avocado toast a lot of times for breakfast, I found hummus toast, that you can have hummus toast, which is very similar to when we went out to the restaurant for Matthew's birthday. They serve it for lunch, but I ended up having it for breakfast just because I really didn't want pancakes, and we went to like a pancake place. But they serve breakfast and lunch all day, so I ended up getting this sandwich, which was like a hummus. It had hummus and like some other vegetables on there. I know it had like what's it called, like bell peppers on there as well, and I think it had feta cheese as well, and it was so tasty. Honestly, it was like on a whole grain or like a multi-grain bread. We use like I think it's a sprouted 7-grain bread or something like that from Aldi, which is super delicious, and it's probably my favorite bread. But I was thinking, I was like, I could do that, like just toast it, put some of the hummus that I just bought garlic hummus from Aldi, and then do a little bit of feta, and I have some yellow bell peppers that was on sale this week. I was like, that would be so tasty, and it would taste kind of like that sandwich that I've had for breakfast twice now that we've gone to this restaurant. Once was maybe more of like a brunch, but still it's kind of like breakfast. And so, like, to me, I feel like I'd actually like that because I don't like breakfast food. I'm not a sweet breakfast food type of person. I don't really like pancakes because to me it's a lot of carbs and not a lot of protein. And like, you could have protein pancakes, but I don't know. I don't know why. I just really don't love like the taste of like whole grain pancakes. Like, if I'm going to have pancakes, I really want pancakes, just plain, pancakes, buttermilk pancakes. But like I don't know, I just don't like the whole grain or like the protein pancakes and stuff like that. And I'm not a huge sweets person, so I don't really like strawberry pancakes or like, blueberry pancakes or whatever. It's not really my thing. And I can't really eat eggs in the morning either because I can really barely stomach eggs. Even if I have eggs in like a stir fry or like fried rice, even that, like, I think one recipe I used one time was like 3 eggs or something like that, and that was even a little too much egg for me. Like, I can barely, like, scrambled eggs is way too much. Like, the consistency of having like that much egg is too much. I could never do that. Quiche, anything like that. French toast, like, it's just too much. Not raw egg, because obviously I'm not eating it raw, but like just like egg based. I can't do that. If it's like an egg baked into a cake, obviously that's fine. But if it's like a quiche or hard-boiled eggs or scrambled eggs or, French toast kind of stuff, I can't do that. It's too much eggs. It's too hard on my stomach and I can't eat it. But I don't like anything sweet for breakfast. So I have a huge problem in the morning about finding something that actually I like. I like hash browns, and I do breakfast potatoes, which is like red potatoes, or and I put bell peppers in there too, because if you guys can't tell, I love bell peppers. But I showed you guys that recipe a couple times before. It's like my favorite breakfast food, but I haven't been making it recently because I realized I really only like it with the organic potatoes because they're actually softer than non-organic, and so they actually had some on sale this week, so I think I'm going to make them this week. But in the past, I've tried them with like just regular, I don't know, maybe it's just red potatoes. I don't like if they're not organic, but I think the Yukon, like the yellow potatoes, aren't that bad if it's not organic. But yeah, anyways, though, that is just my little breakfast rant. So I ended up getting the hummus this week to do that as well. And like I said, I might make breakfast potatoes, but I am thinking about maybe doing my meal plan. The salad that I ended up making today, I'm going to hopefully have for at least like maybe 3-4 days. It should last in the fridge, and I should hopefully finish it up by then. And then if I do finish it, I can make that other salad, the avocado chickpea salad, and then have that for a couple days in the fridge as well. Because I like to have something that's ready for me to eat, because I'm not, like I said, like this, obviously it made several servings, and so like for me, I like having something that I can make a big batch of, like a pasta salad, or, you know, this type of salad or whatever. I'm not actually a huge lettuce person. Being a vegetarian, I don't really love lettuce, unless, like, I'll have a traditional, like, you know, chopped salad or whatever if it has croutons on it, and normally if it is a Italian dressing. But other than that, like, I rarely, and, you know, it's not really my favorite thing to eat. Now, this salad that I ended up making with the chickpeas and, you know, all the other vegetables, like I said, could probably eat it, like, every single day this week, because it was just so good and so tasty. So, yeah, I'm trying to branch out a little bit and do other types of salads, because I love it, but I don't like just lettuce salad or like a kale salad, like some type of green salad. I'm not a huge fan of. I love spinach, but there's only so many things that I really like to eat with spinach. I actually like spinach by itself, and nothing else with it. But like in this case, it was a good amount of protein in there with the chickpeas, and, you know, I had other, you know, stuff mixed in, other vegetables and things like that, and it was so good, guys. So I'm going to look into more ideas on Pinterest too for some other, like, either chickpea salads, or even like some maybe other bean salads and stuff like that, and see if I can't find some. But this was so good today, guys. So I'm so happy, and I feel like it gave me that extra boost of energy too that I felt like I needed, even though I was super tired today and almost falling asleep because of how little sleep I've been getting. But I felt like it like kind of boosted me. Like, I felt really full today, which is good, because normally I'm like, after I eat something, I'm like, I still kind of feel a little hungry, whereas like I felt like full. I was like, I can't eat anything else after I had 3 servings of that, which they were like little, though. I had a little bowl. If I would have had a bigger bowl, it probably would have been 2. But I did finish that show I was telling you guys about yesterday that had 10 episodes in the season. It was called The Five. I think it was a British TV show. And it was so good, guys. I watched the ending. And it was weird, too, because, like, right before they end up revealing, like, the ending to it, I guessed earlier in the episode, I was like, I think that's the person that's going to be. And I was right. And I was like, oh my gosh. But it honestly, guys, up until, like, right before they revealed it, it kept me guessing until, like, the end. So it was a really good, like, murder mystery. Even though I guess it was kind of like a murder mystery, like, thriller kind of TV series. Like I said, it was only 1 season, so if you're looking for something fast to watch on Netflix, but you want to get to the end of it, you know, and just like, it felt like an elongated movie, which I kind of liked. So if you guys are looking for something, I'd look that up on Netflix, because I thought it was pretty good. So I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.